Hello and welcome to Brickwork Ratings, yet another podcast series. Today we'll be gonna talking about the textile sector, how the industry's been doing, and we have a very special guest with us to give us more insights on the sector. A very warm welcome to our guest, Sanjita, Miss Sanjita. She is the director at Amaltas Apparels and Accessories. Ma'am, a very warm welcome to you.
Thanks for having me. Hi, Ria.
Hi, ma'am. Would like to understand about the firm a little more. If you can, slightly give us a tour about the same.
Amaltas is originally a buying agency since the last almost 3 decades. We have helped international brands buy from India, including marketing, research, designing, up to the last mile into the warehouse. 8 years ago, we started a brand. We launched a brand called Ria Matwani, something I'm really proud of. It's a fusion ethnic brand and very sustainable. It's absolutely meant for millennials. So that's doing pretty well. So while we did that, we actually paused the buying agency. Now, again, since the last 3 4 months, we've restarted because buyers are reaching out to us again, I think because of the China crisis. Not sure, but it's good.
Great. So we'll also talk about the anti-China sentiments very quickly in our session. But before that, I would like to, start off with how are your readings about the union budget? How do you see is that impacting the textile sector as a whole?
On the whole, I was not unhappy with the budget, but I wish a little more had been done specifically for textiles and technology, infrastructure in textile and apparel manufacturing, because the opportunity is huge. We are one of the largest job makers in the country, job providers in the country, and we suffer a lot because we are having very outdated infrastructure in the country. And if we are trying to compete with even Bangladesh, we kind of fall short because we don't have that size factories. Labor laws are a little difficult to handle. So I would have liked a little more, but I like the continuity in it. I think that the focus on infrastructure was good. Little more this side would have been nicer.
Ma'am, how do you read the funding situation currently with the sector? Do you see the ECLGs helping out?
Actually, I think that again, the intention behind ECLG was very good. It was meant to mitigate stress. But ultimately, what it did was it just helped us pay EMIs, which was a little, I found that hard. My my company's debt went up by almost 1 CR during the 2 lockdowns. And we had to avail of ECLG because we had a lot of salaries to pay, EMIs to pay. I just wish that this entire fund had been just given to the banks. It would have solved everybody's problem, because the reason behind paying these EMIs was because the banks had public money and they needed to, you can't not pay them because they still have to pay, to the people who are banking with them. But I feel that if we had just taken this 3 lakh crores and given it to the banks and not bothered with us, because we are paying almost 7 to 8% interest on it. It's very expensive. And I wish I hadn't taken it, honestly.
Okay. This brings me to another question. How do you see the exports right now for the sector? Because textiles have been really good at the export industry as well.
I think there's a huge opportunity right now. I mean, not just because of the pandemic and the anti-China sentiments, also the problems they had with the electricity and, their fight with Australia, no coal. And it's a man-made golden opportunity for us. But the problem is, again, I'm saying, I know I'm sounding repetitive, but I wish the government would come and form, consortiums of companies where you could have common infrastructure that could be used, especially things like, I remember in Tirupur, they had the problem with the Noel River, and they needed to make sure that there's no, overflow from the dyeing mills that was killing all the fish. So ultimately, those things cost crores, the treatment plants. And I would love to see something coming in that form. Like we had the milk cooperatives and all that. I think we need cooperatives or consortiums like this, where common funds, hopefully funded by the government, is being made available to exporters to set up factories, to set up infrastructure for the workers and things like that. It would mean a lot. And technology, we really need technology. We are way back when we are weaving the fabrics we make. We are one of the largest growers of cotton. We are one of the largest manufacturers of polyester yarn, but it's still like, what's the use of trading in cotton? You should be trading in the final product. So Bangladesh buys my cotton and then sells to the whole world cheaper than I can. So we really need to, address those problems and have 1,000 machines, 2,000 machine factories, which are not going to have the red flag all the time, which are not going to suffer from changes in policy, things like that. I would like to see some focus there.
Sure. Ma'am, so since you already highlighted about the technology being one of the bigger issue or challenge for the sector, any specific other challenges that you would like to highlight, those certain issues that the sector has been, or you being a good firm are facing?
I think that a lot of policies are very positive. I mean, and I see the effort. But I'll give you an example how GST hurt us. VAT was 5%, and we were paying VAT on movement of goods also. But GST is almost always for us, it's 12%. And in this, every piece I move out of my warehouse is treated as a sale. Now, the entire retail industry in India is based on sale or return or consignment, what is called consignment, where you send the product, it sits on their floor, and if it sells, then we get paid. So ideally, we should be charged GST on what we sell, not on what we move. And if I had that, I'd be very, very, I would be much better placed with my working capital as against what is happening now, because I have to pay GST on every piece I move out, every piece that gets transferred. Those kind of little things, that could be addressed would make our lives much easier. My company went into stress after GST, and I love it. I love the concept of not, not having to face officers. It's all online. It's lovely, but it's killing me.
And what's your outlook on the cotton production domestically? How's the yarn production?
If you map the yarn prices of cotton, it's like this. And I think in the next week, they're expecting another rise, and the rises are large. It's 15 to 20 rupees each time. So I booked some orders in, I think, October and November, and we had started quoting at 450 rupees a kilo. I just paid 680 rupees a kilo. So, I mean, we are pricing ourselves out of the market. I know there are shortages of manpower, transport, things like that. I wish some intervention, please, and bring this down. It's just going to price us out. It's just going to price us out. It's crossing 720, and I'm talking about organic yarn.
Yeah. So quickly wrapping around that, these are the bigger issues that, this whole industry is basically facing. So for example, like you mentioned about, a lot of regulations or even technology being a big challenge. Then even the pricings of basic raw material, that's your essential need. So something on those lines. So what are, the measures that you're really expecting from the regulators that you would, if you have to make a small one or two, because if I say a good wish list, of course it's gonna exceed, but if you have to make a small wish list, what that would be, the urgent needs that you would like to be addressed?
I think I would actually put ease of doing business at the top. And I would say that every department needs to look in, introspect and see whether actually their policies are helping, or whether in some ways it's causing us problems. Like this pandemic came and the NPA rules are remaining the same. 90 days NPA, how can you? We've been shut for 2 years. My business is shut. We make party wear. We make special occasion. We're practically the only brand which is 100% focused on this. And no one's partying. Partying is not allowed. Weddings are not allowed, really. I mean, 50 people in a wedding for all these days. Hopefully it'll open up now. I see good signs. But I'm already NPA. I'm already facing pressure from banks. I'm facing pressure from lenders, and everyone is treating it like the pandemic is over, but there's no button. You can't just press a button and the microwave comes on and the economy starts to kickstart. Yeah, it's going to take time. We've fallen down and rebuilt twice now. First wave, second wave, third wave. And each time it takes away. It's like you go forward 2 steps, but you go back five steps. So we really need to relook at all these policies. And I think this calamity needed out of the box thinking. And GCL was one. I mean, they came out with it really fast. And at least it gave solace to a lot of people. But now all those people are already facing pressure for paying the principal back. Now that's, the business hasn't come back. The jobs aren't back yet. People are still being paid less than they were. So a little bit, I think, in this would have helped a lot.
Ma'am, before we let you go, one last question that, what are the learnings that the pandemic has taught the sector? Because I can see a lot of issues that, we have been facing, even when you're talking about the smallest of the issues that, not you're taking the available measures or anything just to pay your EMIs or your basic needs. So this simply means the economy or the economic activities for you had been completely shut for
Yes.
the strict lockdown period, I would mention. And it of course takes a huge time to even come back and stand on the same feet again. So I would like to understand, what are those learnings that you did?
I think 2, 3 things quickly. One is that it taught us that we need to be a lot more nimble and a lot more proactively, learning and moving and changing. We took a lot of pivots. We have changed our entire collection. We are now a vegan brand. We don't use animal products at all. We are trying to make everything reusable up to nth degree. Half my collection is reversible, and modular. So you buy one piece and then you buy one more, it's a different look. So even for influencers, for people who are very socially active on social media, it's a very good idea that you're not taking something and throwing it away after one. Please don't. Please use it as long as you can. I think that we all need to understand that we need to be kinder to the environment.
Thank you so much for the great insights.
Thank you for calling me, and I appreciate it.